Hello everyone and welcome to my small appliance presentation. First off, I want to introduce myself. I am Janisha Green, a senior nutrition and food management major at South Carolina State University, hailing from the Garden City of Orangeburg, South Carolina. Okay, so jumping straight into the content. Today I'm going to be demonstrating the use of my small appliance, which is the sandwich maker, or in my video, my mini sandwich maker. So in this video, I'll briefly go into detail on its uses, storage, types and styles, functions, the pros and the cons, and I will prepare a small dish using my appliance. So, picture here is the mini sandwich maker box. On the front of it showing its versatility in cooking, from grilled meats to French toast, all this for a whopping $8.96 at my local Walmart. So starting at the top front of the appliance, on the handle is the safety/cooking lock, leading to its non-stick interior that holds triangle dividers, proportioning meals and giving such a visual appeal. Its smooth ceramic plastic shell is the cutest shade of purple, and it has a wall plug-in suitable and convenient for any size outlet. So just for better view, here where the blue arrow points is the safety pressure lock, and at the top where the red arrow flashed is the power/indicator light, which just helps you to see that the appliance is on and heating up. Here I am demonstrating the use of the lock, gently pulling it up and then firmly pressing down to ensure that it is closed. This safety measure ensures that food being cooked is maintain all of its moisture. So in the back you can see the plug where the plug is coming out of, and I feel like that's a good design, allowing for the appliance to sit on the counter as flat as possible. And so now that I've shown the cool but limited features on this split image box appliance, I am now going to do my food demonstration. So here I have all of my ingredients and tools to prepare my version of the meal in the box, which is a grilled cheese with eggs. I have as you can see, I'm laying out all my things. I have the cheese right here. I grab my salt, my pepper, and of course the spray olive oil to coat the non-stick pan, and can't forget the bread. But I did forget my fork, so let me go ahead and get that and wash it off real quick. Alright, here we go. I now have everything laid out in front of me, but before I begin, I will show off my small sandwich maker one more time. I'm just showing its interior. It's extremely lightweight and compact. It even closed my finger a little, but because of its lightness, it didn't hurt. So to begin, I'm going to plug my plug into the outlet in front of me, as you can see. And then I will show you that the indicator light is now on and visible, signifying that it is on and heating up. And I locked it immediately before I picked it up, so that way it wouldn't close on my hand again as it's warming. Moving forward, to begin, I sprayed the olive oil onto the non-stick plates as mentioned earlier in the video, just for extra assurance. Since I will be working with cheese, I don't want it to get stuck up there. I initially was going to toast the bread first, but then I decided to do the egg first. So I cracked one egg already off camera, and now I'm doing the other. And then added my salt and my pepper to taste. Now, after giving the eggs a good whisk, I satisfyingly pour both the eggs into the pan. And luckily these two eggs were just the right amount to fit in both triangles perfectly, as you can see. And then I seal it off with the lock. Alright, so I am back after 2 minutes and checking on our egg. This is how it is looking. Still very, very liquidy. But if you look closely, you can see around the edges that it had begun to cook. So I'm just going to close it and then give it a couple of more minutes. So it has been another 2 minutes. And on the progress, as you can see, it has cooked a lot more than it had. But as I begin moving it around, I noticed a weird movement to it, and then I poked it, and as you can see, still raw on the inside. So because it's so close to being done, I don't want to overcook it, but I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. And then as you can see, my camera died, but I did capture the after results. Here it is. Our egg is a little more cooked, almost a lot more cooked. And as I started looking closer, I noticed that it actually wasn't overcooked and that it still had a little bit more liquid egg in it. So I poked as much egg as I could and then switched the position so that the remaining liquid egg would be directly touching the grill, in turn cooking the rest of the egg. And now that I'm back and our egg is finally really done, so I'm taking it off the grill now, finally, and putting it on the plate. And now I'm going to close the grill back down, and as you can see, the indicator light is off. It is off even though it's still on because it is cooled down, and it will turn back on once it's warm again. And so now I'm getting ready to re-coat my nonstick pan for the bread, and then I will place the bread and the cheese on the griddle. And as I'm moving on, I wanted to point out the non-stick griddle feature on this sandwich maker and how amazingly clean it still is after frying 2 eggs. Not all sandwich makers has this feature of non-stick, so I feel like this is very beneficial in the cleanup process of this appliance. And so now that I have my sandwich on the griddle now, I'm going to press down on it firmly, ensuring that the dividers sink into the sandwich properly. And now I will use the lock to ensure that it's closed down tightly since the bread is pretty soft, and then I will wait for it to grill. I realized after I already closed the griddle sandwich maker that I forgot to put the egg up there. So now in this portion, I'm just going to be reopening the sandwich and placing the egg up there. It was a little difficult because I didn't want to tear it, but then I ended up tearing it anyway, and then I add the additional egg off camera. And now I'm going to reseal it and allow it to grill for an additional amount of time. The safety/pressure lock really helped me in pushing it down and sealing it closed. Since I hadn't been opening and reopening the sandwich maker in the duration of this cooking segment, it took a little shorter of a time for it to finish cooking, and so when I came back, this is exactly how it was looking. The cheese had melted so much that I ended up having to take a knife and manually separate the sandwich apart since the sandwich dividers were unable to do so. And immediately after cooking, as you can see, I unplugged the appliance, being that it does not have an on-off switch, and I set it to the side since kids were around so it could properly cool. And here are a couple before pictures and then an after video of the process. And as you can see, the appliance itself is still in pretty good condition. Very little residue is on it. And here is the plug. As you can see, it is unplugged so that way it can cool. And like I said, the residue is very limited on it. It's more so grease up there, and I could just really take my finger and just scrape that off. But for sanitation reasons, we won't do that. So I will grab a dish towel with warm water, and all I really had to do was just wipe away the excess residue and more so get that grease off. And I also applied a little dish detergent to help with getting most of that grease off. And unfortunately, the angle of my camera barely captured the bottom portion, but as you can see from the top, I'm firmly wiping, making sure to get in those creased and in every small area. I feel like that is the main downside to cleaning this appliance. There's a lot of like little lines and little areas that things food or residue could hide in, so it seems like a tedious process, but this portion is actually in real time, so it literally only took me a little over 2 minutes, or close to 2 minutes, to clean this entire appliance. I even wiped the top part where the handle was, because I did get a little bit of the cooking spray up there in the beginning, and I also ended up wiping the top of the appliance off as well, as far as the shell cover, just to ensure that any residue up there would be wiped off as well. And then I turned it on its sides because a little did spill, as you can see. And as you can see, a firm wipe really got that off. No scraping. The paint didn't have to come off. So this is a really good appliance. And I'm going to open the inside, wipe it off one more time, and we're really done. And so once the cleaning was done, all I did was check to see if the appliance was still hot or warm, and it wasn't. And so that's when I knew that it was okay to store. I stored this appliance inside the box as is. Usually if I'm in my dorm room, I have it under my desk, but since I'm at my mother's house, I placed it in the box, and it fits perfectly on the countertop. Does not take up any space at all. I put it in the little basket up there, as you can see in this photo, right next to just pretty much anything that you would use or have on a counter. In closing, my mini sandwich maker, I would say, is a really good appliance. It comes already assembled and is extremely lightweight, sitting at only 2 pounds. It requires minimum storage space and has a low energy level usage of only about 700 watts. Its sleek and durable shell comes in several vibrant colors, and the non-stick plates can cook things from sausage patties to whole grilled sandwiches. The indicator light and the automatic heating ability of the sandwich maker, I feel, allows for a hearty small appliance, all operated with a single plug-in gear. And because this is a plug-in appliance, you definitely do not want to submerge this in water at all. It's strictly wipe only. This concludes my video. Thanks so much for watching me demonstrate the usage of my mini sandwich maker. Bye.